Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders with Marketing Huddle, and today we are privileged to have with us Bob Glazer, who is the founder and managing director of Acceleration Partners. Welcome to the program, Bob.
Thanks, Mike. Happy to be here.
Hey, so give us a little bit of quick background on yourself and what Acceleration Partners focuses on, and then let's jump into a couple neat topics pertaining to the Uberization of marketing and the acceleration of moving past just typical affiliate marketing to really developing deep strategic alliances.
Sure. So I am the founder of Acceleration Partners. We're the leading performance marketing firm in the U.S. We work with a lot of great brands on developing their affiliate programs, such as Adidas, Target, Reebok. I'm also the founder of BrandCycle, which is a company that works on helping to get influencers connected to the affiliate ecosystem. So very involved in the performance space, big believer in performance marketing and trying to create more real win-win relationships between brands and partners.
And you mentioned influencer marketing. Did I hear you correctly, or do I assume correctly that you work kind of on a broader scale with seeing what all the need is for connecting with influencers and then making the connection kind of like almost, does something exist to where I could go to a database and say, I need an influencer who is in this category because my product is in this category. Where can I find someone? And then it's kind of like a matching game.
Yeah, it's a great question. So, let me take one step back before I answer that, because I think it'll help sort of provide a bigger answer. So, a lot of people want to understand what affiliate marketing is, and I think there's some, different definitions out there, and that was one of the interesting things I took on in the book, talking about 20 people, just leading people in the industry and even asking them how they defined it. So if we use the definition that, simply, affiliate marketing is where a company and a marketing partner, who's often called an affiliate or publisher, enter in a commission-based relationship that's pay for performance. The term's usually CPA. I like COD, cash on delivery. It's easy to understand. And so almost every online business over $1 million has an affiliate program. And in a lot of ways, it's a framework or a way to pay partners more than it is a channel itself. So affiliates represent every conceivable form of online marketing, from public companies to mommy bloggers, newspapers, magazine websites, et cetera. So under that context, we've always seen influencers as just another type of affiliate. I think any new channel comes out, it gets hot, it gets a new name, and influencer marketing started in the brand space. But what happened was when it moved over into the e-commerce space, everyone was using sort of brand payments and no measurement, and then they were like, hey, we don't even know if this works, and we're not a brand marketing firm. So what we see is a shift of that coming back. And to us, these are all sort of the same types of relationships under a single framework that we like to call performance partnerships, which we think is just a cleaner definition of the good parts of affiliate marketing and excludes, some of the parts of affiliate marketing that had a poor historical reputation.
Yeah, I love that explanation, and I think that I really enjoy the approach you take, which from the internet marketing standpoint, so many people think of or understand affiliate marketing as here's your affiliate URL code, now put it out on your social media and see who, bites, throw a bunch of lines in the water and see who clicks on it to buy that product, and you get a little commission. But what you're talking about is more strategic, and so I like that a whole lot. And the neat thing, too, is I like that it's payment for performance only. So you may spend X number of dollars for some advertising campaign, but it's hard to track the ROI of that, whereas these relationships, when these many clients come in, your agreement is to pay X, and you're paying X only when you've got the money from the sale transaction. So it's the safest type of marketing strategy. Is that something that a lot of people, when they realize that, it really kind of hits home with them?
Yeah, and I don't know that they realize. You said it almost better than I did. Maybe we'll have to hire you, but I don't know that they realize that is. Sometimes they think of affiliate as discount and loyalty and codes, and again, where it's a structure where you say, look, do you want to pay for outcomes or do you want to pay for inputs? And I talk a little bit about marketplaces of marketing, kind of what the Uberization of marketing, but you can open up your program these days to a marketplace of marketing entrepreneurs who are really good at different things. And you agree to a rate that you're willing to pay them when you deliver, when you get what you want. So really it's morphing more into business development. The trick is that a lot of affiliate marketing has historically been done through networks, and networks are great, but to do some of this stuff and to do the business development relationships and the relationships that you've procured, that's really accelerating because people are building more in-house programs and licensing technology, and they're starting to call them like the Acme Partner Program instead of the affiliate program. And while it's the same thing, I think partner carries a different context with different parts in the organizations, and they can get that tracking and that management and everything they want, but maybe now they're paying a fixed fee or a licensing fee, and they struggled with paying a performance fee for partners that they had originated and generated. I think for a performance fee, they expected the network or their partner or their agency to bring that partner to them. But companies are saying, look, I got a lot of people calling me, doing these one-off business development deals. They're really not big enough to require all this contract and one-off work. That's where a performance partnership setup or an affiliate program is a really good construct on how to load standardized partners into a system at scale and work with them strategically and have them really deliver the outcomes that you're looking for.
Yeah, I think another piece that you just said there is you should consider, I think whenever you can kind of go out into the blue ocean rather than the red ocean where everyone's fighting over everything and maybe fighting.
I keep hearing that term these days, yeah.
Really? Well, I just read a book summary on it, and it just really, it makes a whole lot of sense. And here's a thought, and maybe you've touched on it and you're working toward this, but I think the phrase affiliate marketing does have some deep-seated old, maybe even old-fashioned concepts. You need to come up with some phrase that's your own, that kind of like what you touched on, performance partnership revenue share, where it's, performance-based. You know what I'm saying? So that that
was the goal, right? So that's the title of the book. So that's what we did. We said, look, this affiliate marketing is too confusing. People are rebranding as performance marketing, but then you have affiliate folks rebranding as performance marketing, and you have people doing PPC and paid search and SEO. Affiliate marketing, so it's confusing. So, performance partnership defines what we consider the highest quality aspects of affiliate marketing and includes a lot of the tactics that have been responsible for some of the poor reputation. So it's really simple. There's just 4 elements to performance partnership that are required. CPA payout, I think that is the core of true performance marketing,
which is cost per acquisition.
Cost per acquisition. Not where, hey, I can measure what it costs, but you're actually paying for it. Transparency, so that eliminates, almost a decade of a lot of affiliate marketing where people said, look, don't ask, don't tell, right? You're paying me a commission. Why do you care how I get a sale? And obviously large brands aren't comfortable with that. So these programs have real transparency of activities with the partners. There's a relationship or an ongoing partnership. Again, you're working with these publishers. You know who they are. It's not just like a bunch of offers that are all obscure. And then the last part is real-time tracking and payment. And so when I think you look at these and you say, hey, if we have things that have CPA, transparency, relationships, real-time tracking and payment, it's hard to object with wanting to have partners in that sort of relationship.
And do you find that, do you have a software type solution that tracks all of that, or is it something you're developing as a proprietary solution? Because I would suspect one of the partners or one of the influencers might say, well, how do I know that what I'm doing is being tracked?
Great question. So we are a services business. We actually think that part of the issue in the industry is that people have tried to be half technology, half services businesses, and then they've ended up being pretty mediocre at both over time. So we focus on services and recruiting and account management and finding the folks. We partner with a variety of networks and technology platforms based on someone's need. But the point of that platform or network is it provides that escrow and trust factor. So they handle the tracking and the payment, and it's not the company themselves doing it, and you're pooled with a bunch of other people. So if it goes down or people aren't getting paid, people will notice. I think, there's people, the old school types of direct programs years ago where people licensed some software or just did a code, and then someone, did something on the website and it's all gone and they didn't pay people out and they don't have a history of it.
Cookies.
The networks or SaaS platforms really serve as the escrow. So they have all this data. They sit as the intermediary. They make sure they set up the payment relationships, and they provide that sort of level of protection to the publishers or affiliates.
So do you ever run into partners or, one side of the equation or the other that says, you've got a good product or service, I'll just refer you, and I don't need to get set up in some official thing, and that's fine. Or even worse, I don't want it because I can't accept it because of our industry or whatnot. But do you ever find people that would go, hey, you're good. You don't need to go to that level. We'll just send you referrals, and then they never do because it's kind of out of sight, out of mind?
Yeah, I'll answer that in a different way. I think there's a lot of companies hesitant to reach out to folks who have done a great post or given them some referral traffic and want to make them a partner. And I think that's short-sighted because they might have written a great post about you once, but they're not going to spend a lot of time writing about you, focus on your business, merchandising, out of the goodness of their heart. And I think that's really short-sighted. One of the really cool things that we've seen is that, let's say someone's an affiliate of like the Walmart program. They consider themselves like a partner of Walmart, right? And so I think they just look at the relationship differently. So one of the things that we've done in recruiting is to really target some of the people who have been talking about the brand organically and engage them as a partner. And when they become part of the program, they're getting regular tips from us, newsletters, advice, ideas on how to promote. There's no way that doesn't improve their performance 2 to 3x over maybe once every 6 months. They see something they like and they write about it. So they get an account management team who's then engaged with them and working to grow that relationship, and you don't get that organically.
And then don't you think the fuel is really added to the equation, fuel to the fire, when that partner starts getting their reports showing here's the revenue share disbursement from your activities last quarter, last month, or whatever, and then they start going, ooh, wait a minute, those little tips, and we started doing this, and this is actually, a revenue coming in, not just 12 cents here and there. And so I think that could even elevate opportunities, where they say, let's jump on the phone here because I think we can do a little bit more here, and then maybe you can think of some better and bigger, projects to do to get the word out, right?
Yeah, that's where the mutual, my fourth principle in performance partnership was real-time tracking, and that's where the mutual real-time tracking is important. So the person managing the program can go, hey, this person's doing well. I got to call them, maybe give them a spiff or a bonus or give them some more stuff. But conversely, there's so many people who, I don't have the acronym down, but there's so many sort of performance programs written with a Google UTM parameter. Months later, that company sends that company an Excel spreadsheet with how they did. They send an invoice to that company. They send a check. It's silly, and the time delay. So what happens is this partner gets a report. Like, let's say it was like a Mother's Day and they were doing something. His partner gets a report or maybe a check 2 months later, and they're like, you guys killed it, during Mother's Day. Had they had this like real-time data, they would have seen that they were doing great, and they might have even promoted more or done stuff. So that's what these platforms provide, the same real-time information to both parties so that both of them are be able to act on it. And we're up to the point now where in some program, you can pay people weekly. It's really changing. It's really flexible. That's where it becomes more attractive to some of the biz dev partners. We're working with some large publishers now who would say, well, I'm not an affiliate. I'm a big guy, and we work directly with brands and all that stuff. And we say, great. Well, we're running their partnership program now. It is on this platform, which is powered by a really well-known brand, and if you plug up and get an account on this, you'll have all the reporting from this relationship in real time, and we have it set up to pay you every Monday without sending an invoice. And they're like, okay, that sounds good. Maybe now I'm a partner. They still want to. They still don't. So they're now a publisher in that ecosystem, and really it starts to get all these various activities that people are doing in different places onto one standardized platform, and having all that data in one place is really helpful to know what's working and not working, and manage those relationships.
Yeah, I love that a whole lot. So how do we tie in the Uberization of marketing into this mindset?
So I think, where the next generation of programs are going are more these in-house programs. And Uber and Airbnb don't own hotels and cars. They got big by creating a marketplace and a system, and if you operate within that, then you're able to perform within that, and you can do really well. Well, I'm seeing the same thing for marketing. So think of it's a little like the evolution of logo tournament and 99 Designs and some of these things where you could put out a logo to the crowd, but it gets to more sophisticated marketing channels. So you set up this in-house system. You say, look, here are my rules and standards. Here you have to play the game. Here are the different CPA things that I want to hit. But if you follow all of these things, I can now open my marketing up to all kinds of marketing experts all over the world. So if I don't have a Snapchat expert, there's definitely one out there in the affiliate ecosystem that'll work on a CPA basis. So if I'm trying to expand to a country, and I don't know how to do that, there's a partner who has reach in that country. So it's kind of like opening up your marketing program to marketing experts, and they're operating in a marketplace that you have created and that you have controlled. It has standards. And it's a really interesting concept because it opens, I think this has taken over like a lot of the administrative world and some of the graphic design world, but the same concept is moving into the high-end marketing acquisition world.
A few months ago, I interviewed someone that organizes flash mobs across the country for certain products and services, and I would suspect that what you're describing there could be kind of like a digital flash mob where you have all of your partners and your affiliates and your the promoters, and you could organize something to really hit at a certain day and time to maybe spike or trend or put some little momentum that way. Have you thought of it in that mindset as well?
Yeah, well, let me use that as an example. So if that person thinks they could work with a brand like Target or someone else, they could try to get a hold of their biz dev team. They could talk to marketing. It would take 6 months. Or they can go join the partner affiliate program and say, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these flash mobs. And at the end of flash mobs, I'm going to show a call to action at the end, and they get their tracking link. And once the partner saw what they were doing, they'd be up and running. And that's not something that the brand would have known how to do. So, as long as that is a brand compliant activity, that's a very easy way for this person to kind of jump in and maybe start working with a bunch of these brands and monetizing that. And again, if I'm the brand, if I'm Target, I'm excited about this because flash mob marketing is not something that I'm putting money in, but I don't know, maybe it works. And
also you could, designer. I would suspect you could even promote it to the bigger brands using your platform to say, why don't we pick a certain times throughout the year to kind of create our own little flash mob of sorts and send a note out to or a promotion out to all of our affiliates and say, okay, on this 2-day time frame or this 3-day sale, we're going to all promote this at this time so that now all of their contacts are getting all of this, and now Target just sees this big bumper or whatever the brand is. Because when you build a big enough team of affiliates and everyone is doing the same thing, boy, their reach just really is expanding, and then it's that kind of congruency because everyone's doing the same thing, and it's kind of like in the internet world, like a product launch. Boy, everyone's talking about this. Finally, I'm going to sit up and take notice. What is this special again?
We've used long-tail affiliates and I think micro-influencers for product launches. So years ago, we worked with a company called Tiny Prints that launched a brand called Treat that was one-to-one greeting cards. And affiliates were a huge part of that launch. We built a whole campaign that basically launched on the same day with hundreds and hundreds of people promoting similar content and similar offer, and suddenly it was everywhere. And we actually saw a massive influx of applications for affiliates because everyone who didn't have this offer saw it all sort of go out at the same time in the launch, and they wanted to join. So, this goes back to the influencer thing a little bit, but the sort of celebrity influencer, $500,000 kind of disingenuous promotion of anything. People are getting a little fatigued of that, but there are these micro influencers in vertical. If you want to do something in the mom space and you can get 500 mom blogs to talk about it on the same day and do that on a performance basis, that's a really powerful approach.
Yeah, and that ties into, social proof, because the readers of those mom blogs, they know who these bloggers are. They follow them on social media as well as their blog posts. And when they see this, and they might follow more than one, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, to your point, it's like they see this, and then maybe that old statistic we've heard for decades, it takes 7 to 10 times of seeing something to finally get it. Well, I say that is, even antiquated more than we think, because back when that statistic came out, we didn't have all of the instant this and the social that. And so I think now our attention is so, pulled in so many directions, it might take 7 to 10 to 20 to 40 or whatever. But the point is, when someone sees that, finally, and all these mom bloggers in this scenario, they're promoting the same thing. Well, Mom Blogger 1 might not get the click, but Mom Blogger 19 might, whereas the next, kind of round, Mom Blogger 19 might not get the click, but Mom Blogger 1 might, be just because everybody is just kind of circling it all around. So it all kind of, everyone wins, and I think that it really is an interesting concept that a brand needs to realize that you don't have to be the celebrity superstar Hollywood name. Sometimes you just need to have that following and then have the crowd, kind of like crowdfunding, behind that. So I really love that concept. I love the performance partnership because of the emphasis on that phrase partnership, because it's much more than just here's a code, shoot it out through your social media channels.
Yeah,
so any final thoughts?
John, my other 7 out of 10 is one of my favorite quotes. My other favorite quote is our friend John Wanamaker, I think, who over 100 years ago said 50% of my marketing is working, 50%
I just don't know which is which. Yeah.
I start the book with that quote, but when you think about it, what's sad about it actually is that he said this 100 years ago when people were doing billboard marketing. People are doing digital direct response marketing right now, and because of all the different channels, and they're paying money, and they're still not really any better than that stat. And there's too much sort of win-lose in a lot of digital marketing. It's like, hey, I got the latest thing ever. Let's look at influencers. So, right, influencers were hot. People had some early success. Now the prices go up 4x, and now the influencer marketing companies are winning and not the brand. So there's always this sort of hot and cold, or I'm going to try something and maybe it doesn't work. And I like this model better, where there's a little risk on both sides. And again, it's really about performance and results. It's not about, an agency making $100,000 and having, maybe 2 sales for a client. You can't, with this model, you clearly can't get out of equilibrium where one party does really well while the other party does poorly.
Yeah, the thing I love about it is if you paid a mega influencer X number of dollars, you're just sitting back crossing your fingers, hoping that something happens and some sale and dollar transaction takes place. Whereas with partnership or affiliate marketing, you're paying them only after the sale happens.
Correct.
Love it. Hey, so how can people learn more about your upcoming book and also your program?
Sure. Well, you can visit performance-partnerships.com. Or you can probably Google that if it's too long for you. And you can download the first chapter of that book on the book page. And we also have a tool called Affiliate Grader, which if you take 3 to 5 minutes and put in some information, it'll sort of run a diagnostic on your program and let you know, give you a score and let you know how you're doing. Otherwise, you can find me at accelerationpartners.com or my personal site, which is robertsglazer.com. And I will try to respond to any personalized outreach that is not a sales pitch. So feel free to reach out if you have a question.
Love it. Well, Bob, thank you so much for taking time today. It was wonderful chatting with you.
All right. Thanks so much.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.